Hi, I'm Dr. Paul Haefner. Welcome to Sport Psych in a minute. Well, it finally happened to me again. Last Saturday night I got bucked off. It's been a while since I've been bucked off. And there are a number of things about this experience actually that turn out to be pretty positive for me. One of them is that in the past when I've been in trouble with horses, it's really easy to see how there are big glaring things that I missed or I pushed through, or that I didn't have the savvy and skill to navigate well for my partner. In this case, the only thing I may not have given so much thought about is that this horse had done this before in other situations. But in general, it was not something that I feel like I really missed something big leading up to that moment. The other thing, which is, I guess, kind of a positive, is that in sort of thinking about my reaction to the situation, I realized that had I shifted my seat back at the moment where I felt him rounding up, rather than, of course, moving more towards a fetal position, I probably would have been able to ride it out and would have saved myself from hitting the ground, and I think probably would have been more helpful for the horse. The third thing that was a positive for me is that moving back and getting on the horse, it really was not something that engendered a lot of fear. In the past, when I've had a struggle or an issue, I've come off a horse for any number of reasons. It's always been battling that fear, and I guess I've always felt previously I was trying to push through the fear. Where what I realized this time is that I had a sense of really quiet confidence that I was really acting and reacting out of a realistic evaluation of my capability, realistic evaluation of my skill and the danger situation with the horse, and felt like I was making a good choice to get back on. The outcome of that is we were able to work through the issues in a way that left both of us in a good spot and moving forward. There's a couple of things about this that I wanted to share with you. One is that last piece, which was so striking to me. I talk a lot with my clients about issues about confidence. And one of the things that I talk with my clients about is that confidence isn't just a feeling that you have or that you engender. It really comes from the experience of achievement. That to be confident in what we're doing requires us to have some really deep knowledge that we have the skills and ability to do it successfully, and that we have achieved something in terms of getting to that place in that time. So that's something that I really wanted to share from that experience. The other thing that I wanted to share is an unexpected reaction to this for me. And that was, rather than being about the fear of getting back on the horse or kicking myself for being so stupid or getting in a bad spot or so on and so forth, one of the things is I had this unexpected reaction hours and hours later where I started really sort of thinking about, man, what are my goals anyway? It really got me into this sort of contemplative space, and initially was not really was honestly not very positive, feeling kind of discouraged, wondering, now that I'm getting older, am I ever really going to reach my riding goals? What are my riding goals anyway? And then a whole evaluation of, what am I doing to get there, and am I really putting in the time and the energy to do that, and so on and so forth. So after a pint of Ben & Jerry's Tonight Dough ice cream, I did something different with this. I actually took some of my own advice. Rather than fighting that sort of negative feeling, what I worked on and what I tried to do is just allow it to be and to sit with it and to see if there was something that I might be able to learn from it along the way. One of the things that came out of that was an experience where I was able to sit and really take stock of where I am in my horsemanship, what role has my riding what role has it taken in my life over time from a kid until now, what role does it play in my life now, what are my goals and where do I want to go with this, how am I going to achieve those goals, and really took a realistic I did a realistic assessment, really taking an inventory of all of those things and thinking through those things really, really carefully. And a lot of that has been really helpful for me, both in terms of focusing my energy, redirecting myself, reinvigorating myself, and remotivating myself and moving forward. The other piece of it, which was really interesting to me, is that, and again, something that I suggest to clients all the time, is that when you're in that space where you're caught up in some negative self-evaluation, that you seek out trusted partners to give you feedback on that. And that's the other piece of this, which I think was so fruitful for me, was to reach out and to talk with loved ones, as well as colleagues, people who are connected to me through horsemanship and horses, as well as people who are connected with me just through life and don't share the love and passion I have for horses. And I had an opportunity to check in with them and to ask them for their counsel and their opinions on this experience that I was having and this inventory that I was taking. And it was really, in some ways, heartwarming. In other ways, it was confirming. Not in some cases, people were really encouraging. They were describing progress that they had seen me make that I was not able to see in myself really clearly. But in other ways, people were really realistic and helping me understand what are the realistic limits and challenges that I face in moving forward. So, kind of hard for me to imagine that all of that for me would come from getting bucked off on a Saturday night. But I have to say, as much as I would have rather stayed in the saddle, it's been an experience which has led me to a deeper sense of awareness. It has led me to a deeper sense of understanding, a renewed sense of commitment to goals, horsemanship goals for myself, as well as personal goals for myself. So I hope in sharing this experience it gives some of you something to think about when you face some of the challenges that are inevitable in our riding. This has been Sport Psych in a Minute. I'm Dr. Paul Haefner. I'll look forward to seeing you next week.